everybody. Welcome to 2026. I am your host, Tane, on the Altar Call MAFS podcast. I cannot believe that it is 2026. Like, the years are going by so fast, but hey, we're alive and we get to keep living life. Hope everyone had a good break. I did. It was very restful. I used the time off to catch up on some shows, to watch some movies. I had backlogged like All's Fair, which I don't know, it was just camp. I can't take it too seriously. I finally started on Heated Rivalry because everyone is talking about that. I watched some movies. I watched Train Dreams. I watched Begonia and Sentimental Value. But as always, I got in some reality TV shows and I will be talking about them today. But some housekeeping for you guys. As you guys know, I have Patreon, patreon.com/AltaCallMAFS, doing a New Year special. Use the code New Year 26 to get 26% off your subscription. And as a reminder, if you have an Apple product, do not buy directly through the app because there'll be an extra, I think 30% on top of that. Try to use a desktop where you just get charged the actual amount that it is. There are different tiers. It's $3, $5, and $10. So you can go through it and see what suits you best. I have bonus episodes coming soon. Traders is coming back soon. I'm hoping to be able to cover that. But in the meantime, check out the throwback post with Scally that I reposted and see who we named as traders. Love is Blind Germany is starting, so we'll be covering that with Brian as always. And I have one documentary also that I will be covering. But New year, new shows. I'm sure there's going to be a lot that we're going to cover. We still don't know when MAFS is going to come out this year, but since it's already done, I'm really hoping that we get like a Q1 type situation. So hang in there and we will see. Before I get into the show, I do want to acknowledge, like, over the holidays, we did lose two people that I just wanted to talk about here. And one was Anthony Joshua's friends. After having the high of the fight with Jake Paul, he went to Nigeria and got into an accident on the Lagos Ibadan Expressway, and two of his friends unfortunately lost their lives: Kevin Latif Ayodele and Shina Gami. And Anthony was sent to the hospital. It's just a really sad situation because Anthony will forever have to live with the survivor's guilt of surviving an accident that happened to his friend. It's sad for a number of many reasons. You guys know that, my home country is Nigeria, and that expressway is actually not the safest. Like, anytime, we went on there or my family went on there, I was just like nervous the whole time until they got to their destination. But, it was a situation where the tire burst and they hit like a stationary truck that was in there. There are many questions to be asked. Why was the truck there? 911 services, but that's not what's important right now. I think what's important also is that, two people lost their lives and they have family, they have loved ones. And I always say, like, it's always tragic, whenever anything like this happens. But when it's during the holidays, I don't know, for some reason it just hits worse, but maybe that's not the case. But just wanted to share my thoughts, with them, and may their souls rest in peace. And in the reality TV world, we also lost Mickey Lee. For those of you who watch Big Brother this summer, she was on that season and she was a personality, whether you liked her or whether you did not. She was a personality on there. She's the one who kind of, like, shook the house when she took over Riley's HOH. And, she had like an alliance, and she just, you could not remember Mickey. And it was just so shocking that at age 35, she passed on Christmas Day. I think the announcement was multiple cardiac arrests brought on by the flu. And again, it's just such a sad situation when anyone loses their life, especially when they're young. And now I think the video of Ava, Ava was reading their palms and saying that Mickey's lifeline was short. And, they were laughing because she wasn't really sure what she was doing. But it's just kind of eerie knowing, what happened eventually. But, my thoughts are just with the loved ones of the people who lost their lives, because it's never going to be easy for them to deal with that loss. And it's just, icky, some of the stories that are just going about. There's so many stories, even with the Anthony Joshua accident and with the Mickey Lee's death. And it's just like, guys, can we focus? At the end of the day, these are all human beings. There are people who lost people. It's a sad situation. And that's what's important, not all the fake stories or whatever stories that are going around right now. It's just, kind of distasteful. But just wanted to pay my respects and share my thoughts and prayers with their loved ones for them. And may their souls rest in peace. Okay, what shows am I talking about this episode? Let's start with Members Only Palm Beach. I think Netflix is trying to dip their toe into something similar to The Housewives. And I don't know how to describe this show, guys. I'm just going to say that they're very green. They haven't settled into what they want it to be, I don't think. It was giving Real Housewives of Potomac season one, where everyone was so focused on etiquette and the Palm Beach society and what you should do and what not do. And I don't think everyone was authentic. I think everyone was putting on for what they think the cameras want them to be. But it's also so crazy. Like I say that, but also it's very, very similar to the Apple, is it Apple TV Plus, Apple Plus TV? I always mix it up. TV show Palm Royale. I don't know if any one of you watched that with Kristen Wiig and Ricky Martin on that show. That is exactly what it's about. She came over there and was trying to fit in, and all the things are very, very similar, right down to a Rolodex being mentioned. So I don't know. I'm saying they're not being themselves, but maybe they are being themselves. But the show is very hard to look at. Yeah, it's just aesthetically, it just a lot of nip and tuck done wrong, a lot of terrible makeup, a lot of terrible cheap hair, a lot of terrible cheap clothes. It felt like watching all, was it eight episodes, was like they were all going to a quinceanera the whole time. Like everyone was just so dressed up. And once somebody did say that their aesthetic is florals, it was a lot of florals, a lot of pastels, and there was a lot, going on there. So um, I don't know if this show is going to get a season two, but the classism is so icky. That's why I don't know how I feel about this show. I'm saying that this show was so uncomfortable to watch, but I couldn't stop watching. There is a lot. Play a drinking game of the words if you hear Donald Trump, if you hear Elon Musk, and if you hear Mar-a-Lago, because that is all they were fighting for was, you know, being in close proximity to them and being members of Mar-a-Lago. There's a point where one of the ladies was describing the levels, the classism again, and saying that Maria and Romina are the basement. Not cool. It's the audacity though, because at some point we meet Gail, who's the one with the cheap wig, who thinks that she's top of the line and passed the baton. I don't know who gave her the baton originally, but gave it to Rosalind. The way she and Rosalind kiss each other's asses is insane. Every time they meet each other, no, you're gorgeous. Yes, you're gorgeous. And it's just not genuine. And they're not wrong about the name dropping. Gail is always name dropping that she lived in the same apartment building in New York where Jackie Onassis lived. And there's one name after the other. She put Clinton in office. And it's a lot that's going on there. But I think they made a pact that they were just going to hype each other. And I think they were not sure if Gail was going to be a cast member or not, because for the first few episodes, I don't think she had like a confessional. She seemed like a friend of, and then by the end, she had confessionals, but I don't know. But, anyways, at some point, they are telling Rumina, maybe you should go back to your country. I'm not even kidding you. That was actually being said. And Rumina is from Uzbekistan, which she has told many, many times. And Gail keeps saying, oh, you mean Pakistan? Oh, you eat with your hands? Oh, you're in America now? And I want to feel bad for Rumina, but if you are trying very hard to be part of a group that treats you like trash, I don't know if I'm with that. Like pick your poison. Like you can be yourself and not try so hard to fit with this group that is treating you like shit. Um we have Hillary, who is so much like Jill Zarin, but she's not. And she tries to smile, but Hillary is a mean girl. She's been married 5 times, but is offended that someone said something about motorboating. to her. Like, she's married 5 times. She made a joke about not marrying her husband if he wasn't well endowed, but she tries to act like she's so innocent and she doesn't even want to say the word asshole. She keeps saying AH. And I'm like, what is happening here? Um, I do like that the husbands are kept to a minimum. Like, we don't get to see the husbands a lot. They don't take over the show, but who knows if that changes as the show progresses. I was thinking that, oh, maybe it's a shame that Bravo did not have a Real Housewives of Palm Beach, but I think I read somewhere that they could not find a lot of places that would let them film. So maybe it was just going to be really difficult and they didn't do that. But all that to say that I watched all 8 episodes. I still don't know if I'll recommend it. I do, if I could even say what to recommend, besides don't be a shitty human being, they're all mean girls. They're all mean. They're all yelling. They don't let each other talk. It's like one long reunion. So I don't know, but we're gluttons for reality TV. I think we're still just gonna watch it, but I don't know. I don't know where this goes. I don't know what this was about. I don't know what Netflix plan was with this, but this is like a car accident that you should not be looking at. But I couldn't stop watching. But let me know if you watch the show and what you thought about it because I'm still confused. I'm inclined to say it's not a good show, but with time, will they get better? I don't know. I don't know if Hillary's husband genuinely likes her. He seems nice, but he also seems trapped. So I don't know. There's a lot of material. So we'll see what happens with that. On the other side, a show that I really, really, really love is Culinary Class Wars. It's a Korean competitive cooking show. Y'all know I love my competitive shows. I am so glad that they got a season 2, much like with Netflix. Netflix is just releasing shows with no fanfare, no announcements, but I love the show so much, and I'm so glad that there was a season 2. And okay, let me see if I can give you the premise of this show. So they're all chefs. I think they're about, I don't know, 80 to 100. I think it was less this season. And they're called Black Spoons and White Spoons. The White Spoons are like the revered chefs. Like, they're like talented, they're Michelin star holders, people know them, like everybody just respects them. And the Black Spoons are, they're still good, but they're just not at that level. So they split them and they all just cook in one big like space. There are two judges, Chef Pike and Chef On, and they taste their food and they tell you if you've proceeded to the next level or not, or if you're in the holding space, and they'll tell you if you progress. Then after that, they keep doing different competitive shows, competitions until they get to the final, and then they announce who the winner is. Now, the White Spoons, we know who their names are. The Black Spoons, they have to give themselves like different names, like, oh, Cooking Monster, or Witch with a Walk, or we have one that's Culinary Monster this year. So you don't get to reveal your name unless you make it to the final, and then you get to reveal. So I'm not gonna say who won in case you want to watch season 1, but it was so much fun. But we did have an American chef in season 1, Chef Edward Lee, who should be known if you watch a lot of cooking shows. But he was going back to his roots. He was adopted, so he was going back to his Korean roots and trying to see if he could get some connection there. And it was just such a touching story, but it was just such a fun journey for him. But the same thing for this season. There are less people that are in there. They had more people who wanted to be part of the show since season 1 was a success, because I'm just like, how do they get people to leave their restaurants for that long to come on here? And all I keep wondering is, how much does this show cost? Because guys, there is so much technology that is used for this show. All the appliances are top notch, like from the oven to the gas stoves, and it's all, it goes around in a circle, it pops up from under the ground. It's like a big, big production. I don't know if the chefs get like any appearance fees, because again, they're big, well-known names. We have one competitor. She's a venerable because she's a monk. She doesn't cook with meat. She only cooks with vegetables. And it's just, you can see that because they're so respectful when they talk to them, and they respect, like, some of the chefs that have been in the business for a long time, they feel so bad if they have to say anything bad. And because she's like a venerable and like in the works, lives in the temple, they don't want to say anything bad, but it looks like her food is good. I think my only thing is she can't cook with meat, and in one of the competitions, she had to work with a partner, and the partner is restrained because they can't use all the ingredients. They have to work with her. So I'm just wondering how is going to work through the season. But either way, it's still like a fun show. They have blind tasting, which I think plays an important part because I think, like with Top Chef, when you know who's making what, I think it does impact it. But in one of the competitions here, where the black spoons have to choose a white spoon to go against, it's blind tasting. So they actually feed the judges, they're blindfolded, and then they decide who the winner is without knowing. I think that's a good um, route to take because that way it's very fair and no one is swayed by, oh my god, this is like a, a veteran in the business or something like that. um I also don't know how the judges don't have acid reflux all the time. Guys, they taste so much food. Their foods are so rich that, and they don't take dainty bites. They don't take like a little bite and be like, oh, that's it. They take very, very big bites. They slurp their soup. They eat all the noodles. Like, I love it so much because you can tell like they're passionate about it. Um, the chefs are very different, but also so very, very, very like knowledgeable. So Chef Pike, everyone always like, oh, I want to get him because they think he's the easier one. He's more down to earth and he's more about the nostalgia and the culture of Korean food, but he really, really knows his stuff. And then Chef An is the one who he's worked in America, he's worked in Korea, he has, he's fine dining. Let me put it that way. So he knows all the tricks and he's the harsh judge, but they respect each other because I think somebody made something and he didn't have much knowledge and he brought Chef Pike like, hey, you come taste it and you let me know what it should taste like and what this should be. But it's just the perfect choice of judges, the perfect choice of um, chefs. The chefs are so good that some of the chefs that are black spoons, people are like, why are you a black spoon? You should be a white spoon. But either way, all the competitions, there's so much thought put into it. It's all very fair. I'm rooting for everyone that when people get eliminated, I'm so sad because I'm like, oh, I just want you to make it. Right now, they've dropped about a few episodes and then new episodes come out every Tuesday. I'm rooting for Culinary Monster and I'm hoping, I mean, for the white chef, I think, I forget his name, but I'm rooting for a couple of people. But honestly, anyone who wins would be great because they're that good. So we'll see, what happens. What happens with this show. But I recommend it if you like cooking shows, if you like competitive cooking shows. Culinary Class Wars is the way to go. I recommend it. Okay. Really quickly, Kimora Lee's Life in the Fab Lane is back, and it's an easy breezy show. It's nothing too deep. Kimora Lee has like the personality of 1,000 people. It's great. She has a house full of kids. It's nice seeing her kids all grown up from the first show, and I think it's easy breezy. I think for me, maybe I am overthinking it, but it's just obvious that things are missing. Like she's saying, like none of the dads are in there involved in their lives, which we understand. Russell Simmons, we know the story, and he's in Bali also. And then we have her most recent husband, the father of her youngest child, Wolfie. There's been a whole bunch of like lawsuits and things going on, so I understand that. But what is the story with Jamin Hunsu? I didn't foresee him to be a deadbeat dad. I thought he was involved, so I don't know what the story is. But like she says none of the dads are involved. So I'm wondering what that is. And then in the beginning of the show, her second daughter Aoki was in Bali, and everyone is so upset that she's there and that she's not with the family. I'm like, is this put on for the show or is it the fact that maybe she went to see her dad? I don't know the relationship because at some point we saw some videos where they were talking against their dad. So I don't know what the story is. So when you have a reality show and things are not being addressed and it's obvious that things are missing, it plays a part for me where I can't fully like buy into the show because I'm aware that some things are just not being talked about. So how much of it is reality? Don't get me wrong, I know like it's reality is still not full reality, but don't remind me that I'm not watching reality. Let me play along with you on that. There's also the story of when Aoki was dating that a man that was like way older than she was. Is that part of why everyone was upset? I don't know, but it's just obvious that things are missing. I think at some point when Aoki was going back to Bali, Kimura didn't even say Bali. She just said she's going back to Southeast Asia, and I'm like, okay. So, but I mean, it's a fun show. It goes by really quickly, but it's not. It's again easy breezy is the way to go. Okay, Sister Wives. This show is the show that keeps on going because I don't know how they're even having any material for anything to talk about. It's the same old thing. Everyone is still apart. Cody's still annoying. I don't know if you got a chance to watch him on Special Forces. He was basically the guy everyone's just laughing at behind their back because Cody is a personality. It's like we know Cody from Sister Wives, and now it seems like the rest of the world gets to see him. It's like the uncle that we know, and we just, that's Uncle Cody, but now everyone can see it, and it's a little cringy. But he's just an annoying man. There's really no way for that. But he's on his apology tour, and he is going to each wife, and each of the wives has been pretty nice to him until Mary. Who would have thought? Mary was not giving Cody a chance to continue his dog and pony show, and I was here for it. Like, finally, Mary, like, stand up. Like, he was expecting the same treatment that he got with Janelle. Like, I think it was pretty nice with Janelle where she was like, thank you for the things that he said. But also, I do think that Cody has always had some kind of respect for Janelle. So maybe he approached it differently. And also, again, they have shared the loss of a child together. That is something that is unique to their relationship. I'm not saying I don't know for sure that it played a part, but I do think that that might have played a part in maybe the tone or the approach that he came. But I think with Mary, he already came walls up because he's not happy about how her friends talk about him. And everyone knows, like, if you want to get to Mary, do not talk about her friends. Her friends are her everything, which makes sense because the rest of the family have their family, so to speak. Mary has a smaller family, having only one child. And it seems that she's been outcast, longer than the rest, and her friends are her family, so she doesn't play with them. So if they want to say what they want to say about Cody, I don't see why not, because they're justified things. They're things that Cody did. So I'm not sure why Cody cares what they're saying. So coming in hot, Mary also came in ready. So right from jump, it was not going to be smooth sailing. So they were butting heads the whole time. But I'm just glad that whether she was right or wrong, that Mary didn't back down and just spoke up for herself. And I don't know how far this is going to go, but I think when he met with Christine and Christine came with David saying, go to your kids first. Okay. I think I understand why David was there at that conversation because, she's married now out of respect. And I think maybe that's just, the culture of how it should be. But I think David should have just been an observer. He's not wrong. I've said it before also, like maybe start with the kids instead of the mothers. But I think in Cody's brain, the mothers are who are influencing the kids. So he wants to start there. And I do think David should not have said start with the kids or offered any advice. So that he should have just sat there and just been there and let them have that conversation. That being said, I do think that Christina and David talk about Cody way too much. I know it's a TV show, but it's been how many years and we're still talking about this guy. He's just way too much of a presence in their marriage. I can't tell if Cody's apology is sincere. I'm leaning towards it not being sincere. I don't think he cares. It's either Robin made him do it, or he's just like, hey, let me just find a way in which the show could move forward because it is a source of income. But I don't know if it is genuine. He's such a showman that I cannot tell. So let me know if you think that it is genuine. But again, I'm leaning towards it's self-serving. I don't know what it's serving, but I think it's self-serving. Not sure why Janelle is doing the whole elders thing. She's not part of the faith anymore, so I'm not sure why she wants to go that route to separate from Cody. But if it makes her feel better, hey. One last thing, Robin. Robin gets on my nerves. Robin gets on my nerves so much. Like someone I do not know should not annoy me this much, but it really annoys me when she keeps acting like she doesn't know what is happening. When they were talking about the basement wives and everyone was talking about, oh, it is a thing. Janelle says I was a basement wife at some point. Kristen says I was in the basement. Robin comes in and is just like, well, I don't know if there were such a thing as a basement wife. I did not know that it was happening. And it really just, the way she revises history, just be truthful. I don't understand. Just be truthful. But every week, this woman comes in with some lie or something going on and just stays annoying me. But yeah, I don't know how many more episodes we have left of the season, but Sister Wives is still trucking, and that's what we have going on there. Okay, my final show is The Real Housewives of Potomac. I don't think I've talked about this season at all. I am enjoying this season. I will say that they are suffering from what a lot of the housewives are suffering from, where they gang up on a housewife and then they just keep going and going. It's not fun. I don't know why that is happening. I don't. Who are they ganging up on this? And they are ganging up on Stacy. Stacy is handling it like a champ. But I will not lie. If I was a cast member, I would find it annoying the way that she lies unnecessarily too. But the way she's standing up to them, unfazed, water off her back, like I like that because it's the opposite of what Angel is doing. I think I've said it before on when I was a guest on Bitches Better. Like Angel just should not have been on the show now. The timing is just wrong. She doesn't have the temperament right now for it. I would like to see what happens if she gets a second season and she's not so attached to Kay and if she can get her rental dates right, to see what that's like. But for right now, she's not handling it well. And I think what makes it worse is her antics offline. It's not even just the what she's doing on the show, but offline. She keeps saying all these things, getting her sister to say things, and it's like, ugh, we don't want to hear it. Go away. But Ashley's like a little gnat. Ashley, everyone keeps saying how Ashley has no storyline, and I'm okay with that. I don't think she needs to be fired. I always say this, like much like Salt Lake City, everyone has their parts to play, and it all fits. I think Ashley's there. I think what happens is when Ashley tries to overproduce, and then it becomes so annoying. Like even if you're in the background, just stay there kissing Giselle's ass and just do that. But the delusion is strong in her. Like, I think she seems to forget that she was with a man who she was saying she was going to get divorced to and didn't divorce him for a while. She was with a man who was accused of assaulting people and she was defending him. And here she is just getting on Stacy about who she's dating, about her divorce. Well, give that energy to Giselle. We don't know who Giselle is dating. Like, do that. But no, you want to attach yourself to someone who you think will not get you fired. And it doesn't work. Robin got fired. So, okay. But also, I think the thing that she's also doing is talking about things that, yes, she's involved, but aren't necessarily her story. And she's telling that. Breaking up with old dude on there talking about, oh, he doesn't have enough money, but then I hear they're back together, talking about her sister's dad and, his addiction and, her sister's crying. So maybe we don't want to talk about it on camera. The man has never been on, I don't recall. And it's her dad. And it's just, don't make her cry on TV. It has to be hard having a dad that's an addict and dealing with that addiction. And then talking about Sharice's son. Did he want to talk about it? Did he know that she was going to talk about it? Just saying things and blurting things, just anything to stay on is just Ashley, Ashley, Ashley. Ashley always gives me immature. And then she's like standing 10 toes down and she really fancies herself like a fantastic housewife. So, you got to be delusional. Like, Giselle is a stone cold killer, but she's a great housewife. I gotta give it to her. Yes, does she produce? Does she lie? Yes, but she's a great housewife. I don't know. Sorry to say that. But Kierna and this man, Greg, what a roller coaster. There's a lot of ups and downs. She moved out, she's moving back in, but giving a picture frame from the same jewelry store that you shop for rings is diabolical. What are you doing? I can't tell if Greg wants to marry her. Look, listen, Greg wants to stall as much as possible. But why wouldn't he just break up with her if he doesn't want to be with her, knowing that that's what she wants? But Kiana says that that's not what she wants now. She just wants to be happy. So we're just going to go along with it and see how it plays out. But this is one heck of a roller coaster to go on just to get a ring that you may or may not get. Wendy is having a fantastic season. A little side eye because she is kissing Giselle's ass, but again, they're vets and I'd rather see them getting along. But it's so unfortunate that these charges are looming ahead while this is happening. Like, she looks great. She's, doing great on the show. She's giving us the breaking the fourth wall, looking directly at the camera. But that fight with her mom was so painful to watch. It's so painful to watch, but it's the norm. I always say this, that familial abuse is often overlooked because it's like, oh, it's family. That's, what they do. It's just what it is. But it's not okay. It's not okay. She is from a culture where it's like respect over everything, because it's so funny that the thing that set her off was Wendy saying, "You're not going to talk to my kids like that." And that just set their mom off. I know the mom was upset that it feels like Wendy is seeking the love of a person who did her wrong. She's clearly still very raw about that situation. Wendy is being delusional. Her dad is not going to be the dad that she wants her to be. Her dad is stringing her along and saying all the things, but um, she's just missing, she probably has a blind spot because she just really wants the love of her dad. And her mom is like, I did all the things and you're going with him regardless. And she feels like maybe she's disregarding what she did. Valid, again, valid feelings, but it's just she did not have to come at her that hard. Just like, F you this, you're an idiot, you do that. And, her mom, 0 to 1,000. There's a lot of, people like that. We've seen a lot of moms that are that way, but I hope they got over it. But I think with Wendy saying this, is this the first time that we're actually seeing the side where Wendy's saying like her sister and her mom, keep ganging up on her all the time. So maybe this is something that she's been fighting um her whole life, and maybe that's part of why she's also fighting for her dad. Is like, maybe she feels like the odd man out between her mom and her sister, and is feeling like, oh, if I go this route, maybe there's someone I could connect with. But I mean, sorry to say it, it's not going to be that way. But she's also not going to change her mom. Her mom is not going to see reason. Her mom is very hard-headed, and it didn't need to go that route. But thank God she has Eddie. Thank God she has Eddie. I know like what they did is wrong. I'm really hoping they can get through this hump, but I don't know. I don't know where it's leading to, but how could they get themselves in this situation? It would have been so perfect if, this case wasn't looming and all the charges and everything wasn't there, because it would have been a great season for Wendy. But I still maintain that I do think that production doesn't care for Wendy. But we'll see. I hope she makes it to the reunion, and I know they're just gonna come at her with the charges all through at the reunion. So we'll see what happens. I know that Charisse is now not, after thinking about it, she had the angel treatment and is not happy about Ashley talking about her son that way. So again, we'll also see how that plays out. Okay, those are the shows that I have for this week. Let me know what you think if you're watching, and let me know if there's any shows that you would like to hear my thoughts on. I'm wishing everyone a wonderful, wonderful week and hope that this new year is kind to all of us. So until next time, guys, bye.